Hi learners, you're welcome to our 10th lesson in science. Hope you are doing well and studying very hard. Let us take note of these important announcements. You are reminded that scores for lessons 7, 8, and 9 will be ready this Saturday. So take note. We are still under sources and forms of energy. Dealing with our last indicator. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to know how to measure the temperature of warm water using laboratory thermometer. In our previous lesson, we touched on how to measure the temperature of a person using clinical thermometer. My question is, what is the temperature of boiling water? Or what is the value of the temperature of boiling water? Okay, the answer is 100 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius. If you're able to mention this one, you have done well. Now let's start with our main lesson. How to take the temperature of warm water using laboratory thermometer. So as you can see in the picture, the man holding the thermometer measuring the temperature of water, warm water in a glass cup. So the first step, the thermometer is partially put into the warm water with its bulb or reservoir fully immersed in the water. So partially means we ensure that part of the thermometer is buried into the water. And the part we are considering is the bulb where the mercury is reserved. Ensure that it is fully immersed, covered with water. Okay, what is the next step? We are to allow some time for the mercury thread to expand and rise until it stops when it reaches thermal equilibrium. Thermal equilibrium. Now, what do we mean by thermal equilibrium? It is a point where the heat gained by the mercury while expanding, the heat it gained from the warm water while expanding becomes equal to the heat loss by the water. Remember, before the mercury will expand to take the reading, it takes heat from the warm water. That means the warm water loses heat to the thermometer while the thermometer gains heat. This continues until there's an equality between the heat gained by the mercury and then the heat lost by the water. At that point, the mercury thread stops. And wherever it stops becomes the reading of the temperature. So finally, record the temperature reading while the thermometer is still in the water, and then assign or give the appropriate unit. So for example, we have 60, then add the appropriate units, that's degree Celsius, or 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, what we are saying is that the thermometer must still be in water before the reading is taken. Now, unlike the clinical thermometer, the laboratory thermometer, as soon as it is removed from the warm water, it begins to lose heat to the environment and the mercury thread will drop. So you will not be able to record the actual temperature of the warm water. So it should still be in the warm water before the reading is taken. All right. To ensure a correct reading, what are some of the precautions that we must take? Precautions or measures taken to ensure proper reading. Precautions to be taken when using the laboratory thermometer. Can you get some of the precautions? Look at the way the, uh, the teacher handles the thermometer. 1. The thermometer should be kept upright, vertical, upright, not tilted. This tilted, not this way. The reason is to ensure uniform expansion of the mercury thread or proper heat gain by the mercury thread. But if it's slanted or tilted, mercury thread does not gain enough heat to expand. Okay. Another way of understanding is you will observe that heat from heated water vapor from boiling water rises vertically and not horizontally or diagonally. If it does diagonally, it means there's wind blowing. Okay, so heat gain is done vertically, so you must keep the thermometer upright. All right, what is the second precaution? Ensure that the bulb of the thermometer is surrounded from all sides by the substance of which the temperature is to be measured. What I'm saying is that ensure that the bulb is fully immersed, as I said earlier, in the substance or in the water. It should be surrounded on all sides by the water, just to ensure proper heat gain. Then we're saying that make sure the bulb does not touch the surface of the container. Can you guess the reason? Yes, the body of the thermometer, the body of the container is usually at a different temperature compared with the substance whose temperature you want to measure. Another reason is the focus of the measurement is the water, not the container. So if you allow the bulb to touch the container, you end up measuring the temperature of the container instead of the water being your intention. So that is the reason why you must ensure the bulb does not touch the surface of the container. All right. What's the next one? The fourth one depends. You're saying that clamping the thermometer with a retro stand instead of holding it with the hand is safer. Can you guess the reason? Good. Measuring the temperature of warm water usually comes with a risk of getting burnt or scalded by the heat coming from the warm water. So, depending on the heat coming from the water, you can as well clamp the thermometer on a retro stand. I hope you've seen the retro stand before. Good. So today we touched on how to measure temperature of warm water using the laboratory thermometer, and then we noted some precautions that must be taken in order to ensure proper measurements. You are advised to discuss with daddy, mommy, or your sibling the main points covered in the lesson today. I love to ask you to do this because it helps you to revise and to help you to keep on track of lessons that you observe or study. for our advanced learning. Remember, we have ended the lesson on sources and forms of energy. Our next substrand is about human systems. And under it, we're going to look at excretory systems of humans. So try to read about the excretory systems of humans in our next lesson. All right, thank you very much for your attention. Do your best to do the exercise in time. Don't delay. Till we meet again, stay safe. Bye-bye.